Hi, everyone. Ms. Johnson here. I am going to walk you through lesson 2.9 today. So at this point, you should have already watched the video on the sophistication point. And so now we are going to go through a few things and then how to write our conclusion. So students will be able to edit their body paragraph to earn the sophistication point and write a conclusion. So this is the rubric for the sophistication point. You should have seen this exact same thing in the video. Again, just to kind of reiterate, this is only one point. And so the purpose of the sophistication section is really to just enhance your writing. And so what I'm going to do is just go over tips and tricks that you can use to create stronger body paragraphs and to make your writing stronger. So like the video said, I feel like our emphasis is not on this point. However, I still want to see you get stronger in your writing. I want to see you use these techniques and skills because overall it will make you a better writer. So again, 1 point. Those are the 3 categories of how to get those points. The video went over those. This is something that you can take and use in our guided practice today in our asynchronous lesson. So this handout is in our week 11 folder. This is strong versus weak verbs. So you want to avoid the weak verbs. The weak verbs are going to force you to write a summary of what the text says. So weak verbs include says, explains, relates, states, goes on to say, shows. Okay, so we want to avoid to show, right? Here is, right, a list of strong verbs. So notice how many there are here and notice how many there are here. Okay, I want you to get to here. I want you to use these strong verbs. We're going to practice this today to create stronger writing. Okay, so we're going to review some hints for writing, for stronger writing. Okay, this is one of my biggest things I always tell students every year. Do not laundry list rhetorical devices or rhetorical choices in your essay. You don't want to just say the author uses metaphor, metonymy, and allusion in his diction. Okay, that's just laundry listing those choices. We'll go over again what to do and what not to do. Do not use these useless phrases. If I see these in your writing, I'm going to make a comment and say this is a useless phrase. You don't want to say things like keep the reader's interest. Uses diction very effectively. Okay, remember with diction, you want to see and notice the specific type of diction. Use that diction handout on Schoology. Uses excellent rhetorical choices, paints a picture, or to keep your attention. The author uses good syntax. These are all no-nos. I don't want to see this in your writing. Avoid dead words or RIP words. I say these are dead words to us when we're writing a rhetorical analysis. Also, said. The word said is dead. Said is dead. No more using that. Find a better verb here, right? Be a better writer. Find the author exclaims, the author illustrates, the author introduces. Anything like that is fine. Said is dead. Avoid summarizing. Use those verbs to help you. Avoid saying the author uses logos, pathos, and ethos. I've gotten a lot of questions lately of like, can you analyze the rhetorical appeals as rhetorical choices? So you have to be very, very careful. So the rhetorical appeals are rhetorical appeals. Are they choices? Some are going to say yes. Some teachers might say they're not, okay? You can still analyze logos, pathos, ethos, but I want you to connect those to audience or another rhetorical choice, okay? So what I mean by that is like the author appeals to the audience's sense of patriotism by utilizing vivid diction. So I connect those two. I'm still referring to pathos here, but I'm connecting it to something else. Avoid just laundry listing the rhetorical choices, okay? So moving on to our conclusion then. So the conclusion is the last little bit of your essay. Okay, so I'm going to give you a structure that you can follow. Just know when you're writing your rhetorical analysis essay and it is timed, this is the last thing you should be worried about. Again, there's no conclusion like section on the rubric. Okay. So what's more important to me is you have developed awesome body paragraphs. Your conclusion is like that last little cherry on the top of a cake, right? So this is just going to be a structure you can follow. So restate the thesis statement. Remember, the conclusion is your last chance of making an impact with the paper. So it is advisable that you restate the thesis in a way that brings in sophistication or digs deeper than the one in the introduction that you wrote. However, do not introduce any new rhetorical choices, new ideas, new claims. Don't introduce anything new. This should all just be restating what you've already written. Try not to begin your conclusion paragraph with "in conclusion." Second, highlight your main claims for the commentary. You have been discussing these ideas in the body of the essay. Hence, the conclusion should only highlight just a brief summary. So wrap those up. One sentence is all you need. Closing thought. Close out the main purpose of the text being analyzed. Be thoughtful here and use a powerful clincher. Something you can leave your AP readers with. Something you can leave me with. Okay, so like think about the purpose or the impact that this text had on you. Here's an example from that eulogy speech that we looked at from Obama. This is a student example that earned a good score on their test. So again, restate your thesis. Barack Obama uses exemplification, description, and casual analysis to invoke pride within his audience and memorialize Ted Kennedy. Okay, so notice they didn't start with "in conclusion." You can just kind of restate what you said in your own thesis. Moving on then to highlighting the main claims for commentary. The use of exemplification recognized exactly what Kennedy faced, as well as the many ways he helped others within his life. The descriptions provided gave detailed accounts of Kennedy at two distant points of his life that showed who he was. The use of casual analysis, I'm going to move me, explains to the audience how Kennedy became who he was. So again, you're just highlighting the main ideas, the main claims that you wrote in your essay. And then finally, just a sentence for closing your thoughts. All of the rhetorical modes were able to recognize how great Kennedy was as both an individual and a senator. So notice like the conclusion here is like one sentence for restating your thesis, 3 sentences here, and 1 sentence for your closing thought. So it's not long. Here's an example of what not to do. So this student did not earn a good score on their essay. In conclusion, Ted Kennedy was an amazing American that strove to help others throughout society using his Senate position. Obama used his rhetoric throughout his speech so show this and to show the many great things he did in fact do for citizens. Okay, pause and notice that I am struggling through this a little bit more. So when you read your writing out loud, you catch these mistakes. Like I kind of stuttered trying to read through this. You'll catch all of your mistakes, I promise you. Obama also used his rhetoric in order to emphasize the tragedies that occurred throughout Kennedy's life and how he overcame those challenges in order to greatly benefit the people. Kennedy also had many memorable moments that can't be forgotten, which Obama spoke of in his speech. Obama, using his rhetoric in these ways overall, was able to convey to the audience that Ted Kennedy was a great man that strived to help others and overcame his challenges in life. Okay, so let's start with the restating your thesis. A few things here. This was all summary. This was all summary of what the text said. In conclusion, Ted Kennedy was an amazing American that strove to help others throughout society using his Senate position. This is just restating and like summarizing what the speech said versus what you talked about in your essay. Do not start with "in conclusion." That is a big fat no-no. Do not summarize what the speech said and do not use loaded or emotional words. So Ted Kennedy was an amazing American. Use something more objective that you can actually analyze and comment on. Okay, so use this example as what not to do. Okay, if you have any questions about this, let me know. Otherwise, stay tuned for the directions for guided practice.